Hi everyone, welcome back to Rebirth TV. I am Stacy Benton. I am so excited and elated to be here with you guys today. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. Actually, it's very beautiful outside. There's a gorgeous blue sky. And I just want to encourage you to take care of yourself, to actually get some fresh air, even if it may be a little raining there, wherever you are. But I just want to really just thank you for watching the videos and educating yourself when it comes to complex trauma. And right now we are launching. I am the owner of Rebirth Media Network. And we are presenting and launching the Rebirth Experience, which is coincides with the novel Rebirth A Gift. And it's just an experience that will help you to go through your process of healing from complex trauma. And definitely go back and watch the other videos. I really appreciate that. And I just want to encourage you that no matter what stage you are in your healing process, if you continue to educate yourself, if you continue to go through the journey of healing and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and compassionate even with you. And everything starts with you. So when it comes to how you relate to the world, how you relate to your relationships, your family, your children, your spouse, it all resonates with you first. So you have to get yourself at a place where you are healing past this so you can actually exude the authentic version of yourself, or the authentic person you always envision yourself to be. So I just want to encourage you there to continue on your journey, on your process. Right now, just like last week, we're really going over childhood trauma, which definitely is a foundational premise to, if you experience that in any shape or form, it is a foundational premise to your complex trauma and the things you're experiencing in adulthood. So right now we were just kind of like looking over some articles, or I was sharing an article to be more specific, and just different articles on the topic, so that you could just get not only the educational premise, but also the motivational and inspirational premise that comes along with watching the videos. As I go through the articles, this is all building a foundation so that you'll have a lot of aha moments. So those aha moments will be just shifts within your consciousness and the way you think and how you relate currently to your trauma. So and how to get a better understanding of what happened to you as a child and the different impacts it had on you, adversely or positively, in your adulthood. So right now we were just focusing on the adverse aspect of your trauma, just so you can see if you're having any issues with depression, anxiety, all of those issues that come along with you experiencing your childhood trauma. So let me just switch here just a minute to, we're looking at articles from verywellmind.com, and I will encourage you to really go in, take a look at their website, because there's a lot of information there that's going to bring more insights and to destroy the foundation of this trauma that you've been experiencing. Because Rebirth A Gift Series, we're in the first phase, or the first aspects of the rebirth experience, which is conception. So we are going back to the very foundation of your trauma. And if you do get triggered, definitely I want you to take a step back. I don't want you to run from it, okay? I don't want you to run from if you are emotionally triggered. What I want you to do is pause, take a few deep breaths, and allow it to pass. And then I want you to continue with the videos, okay? Because the reason why I'm saying that is that if you always run from emotional triggers, then you're never going to be able to disrupt the pattern, okay? Because those are patterns and it's actually a result of the trauma. So pushing through that, even if you're taking a step back, taking a few deep breaths, you could pause the video, walk, come back. Because running from your emotional triggers is not going to help. So this is all about pushing you forward in your healing journey. So now you can actually become and develop the person you always thought that you could be. So right here, let me go down a little. So we were talking about, just a brief summary here, how emotional abuse in childhood changes the brain. So that's the article we're going over. And we just went over the emotional abuse can include those things there. How abuse alters brain structure, we did go over that. Effects on brain structure. So how does that actually affect your childhood trauma? How did it actually alter your brain, your organ, the brain, the center of your nervous system? So I'm going to start here because during my own healing journey from my trauma, I came upon a major crossroad with just emotional dysregulation, but also with just having like headaches, aches and pains in your head, like migraines, tension headaches, headache in the back of your neck, pain in the back of your neck, just all in your upper area. Another symptom would be like forgetfulness, like just forgetting things, feeling always a sense of stress and discontentment, or a sense of dread, like what's going to happen next. So all of these are impacts or side effects to show that there has been some brain structure that may have been altered, unfortunately, because of your trauma. Now, your trauma could be a bad domestic violence relationship. Your trauma can also be child abuse. Your complex trauma could be rooted in a death of a loved one, extreme grief. Any of those things can also contribute to your childhood, contribute to altering the brain structure. But the most important aspect of this will be mostly in childhood, because that's when your brain is really developing and it's creating the neurons, the synapses, all those things emotionally, is regulating those things as a child, and more powerfully when you're a child. So if you experience childhood trauma, your brain structure, you probably just learn how to adapt. And as you continue to experience other traumatic events in your life, that's when it started to be more painful. Or you start to feel more, probably just more headaches, more pain, more suffering. You may have experienced some depression, some anxiety. So these are all symptoms to show that there's been a brain structure difference. And on the other videos, we did go over the childhood implications of this as well. So childhood abuse and neglect can have several negative effects on how the brain develops. Some of these are decreased size of the corpus callosum, which integrates cortical functioning, motor, sensory, and cognitive performances between the hemispheres. Decreased size of the hippocampus, which is important in learning and memory. Dysfunction at different levels of the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which is involved in stress response. And right here, this is very important, because as you become an adult, if you are developing like thyroid issues, high levels of stress, like excessive weight gain, it's like the weight just cannot come off, excessive, wanting to consume a lot of sugar. All of this is or high fatty diets. All of this is responsible because of some of the stress responses that you had as a child, that it altered your ability to in a healthy manner, respond to stress, because you're always exposed to it on a daily basis. Like you're always on edge. You're always in the fight or flight mode, okay? And that's because of the trauma. Less volume in the prefrontal cortex, which affects behavior, emotional balance, and perception. Overactivity in the amygdala. And I think I said that right. So I will spell it Amygdala. Amygdala, one of those, which is responsible for processing emotions and determining reactions to potentially stressful or dangerous situations. So this really, again, is another aspect of the brain that tells you if a situation is dangerous. So you will still see this in domestic violence situations where the woman or the young adult may have gotten used to being exposed to the level of abuse, today becomes desensitized to regulate when there is emotional danger, because your fight or your danger zone is completely reduced, because you've been completely exposed to the abuse, physical or emotional. So it's like your brain has been trained to accept an abuser. Okay? And this is also, again, that's part of the effects on brain structure when it comes to childhood abuse. Reduced volume of the cerebellum, which can affect motor skills and coordination. So if you as a child and you were always clumsy, okay? You just walk and you knock into something. You just fall. It's like you can't really get a hold of your motor skills. And especially if you're like the age of 8 or 9, or actually before that, probably like 5. And you're noticing that your child is always like knocking themselves, they're bumping their heads, they're not aware of what's around them. It seems like they're just running into things. This is a true sign that there may be some level of trauma. And as an adult, what you may think is trauma is very different from a child, because they are still developing their brains. So that's why it's so vital that if you have a child, and I know this can be very touchy and uncomfortable, but if you have a child and you know that the child is in a stressful situation, we're all in different stages, and you may be in a different stage than each other in your healing process, but actually catering to the child's needs is very, very important, because their brains are still developing and they pick up on everything. Continuously praying will help. If you just like to positive affirmations, getting a child out for walks, getting some fresh air off the computers, the laptops, and the digital devices, getting them involved in a creative activity is a great a great way for them to express themselves. Just different activities that will help them to continue to kind of like try to process this level of environment that they may be in. And I understand you may not just can't leave right now, which is understandable, but doing these little things with your child, like going on little walks outside, looking at the flowers, the trees, simple things, helps them tremendously. Okay. So I'm going to stop there on this article, because I want to keep these around 15 minutes, but I will come back with the other aspects of this article. And again, this is verywellmind.com, and we're talking about how childhood trauma affects the brain. And this is a great foundational piece for the conception series, which we're going back to childhood. Okay, we're exploring that. And so come back for the next part of this article, and go back and listen to the other videos and watch those as well. See you later. Thank